And also, like, the depth of it, like, that's something that is what you really see, like the shades when you look at something close up. And there's sun behind it, like, it'll fade out like that. So I just like playing with colors and, you know, getting that effect going on. This one was fun to do the horizon, the sunset, because that's something, actually, Ting and Yolanda know that where we work at is on top of a hill, and you can look out and see like all of the Bay Area. And sometimes like it would be like a bright orange sun and just like piercing across the sky, and you could see like everything below and the bay and everything like that. And that was my inspiration of like using the orange and like all the different colors of the sunset, because it's so massive. And for me, it really makes me like stop, you know, whatever I'm doing, if I'm walking, I'm just like mesmerized, and I have to like stop and take all that in, just because it's like it embraces me and just pierces through me, and like breathe through that. So and that's one of my favorite ones too, because it's purple. It's my favorite. This is rain. It also this is the one that matches with Kundalini. Just the design, I did them at the same time, like right after another. And a lot of them I do that, I guess. Well, kind of. Maybe not. It seems like I'll do one and then I'll have like another idea, and that's what births the next one. Oh, and that reminds me, like when I'm trying to create this stuff, like, again, this one I had never painted on this size before. Like this was the first time I painted on something this large. Usually it was like this size. And so that was fun to like feel the space on the board, and like when I was painting her, I was trying to like figure out how that would feel, like how it would look. So I had to imagine like closing my eyes and being like, okay, here's her thigh, okay, I'm gonna paint that. And then like her middle part would be here, and then like, okay, now how does this part look? And so it was all like feeling it out, like literally with my hands like that, and then painting it like as I was imagining it in my mind. And it was neat because I was on the phone with Catherine talking to her about like the different levels of that painting, because it got really frustrating, like I was stuck. I'm like, I don't want to mess it up. And then when I started just like doing that, the painting was like, I had a whole dialogue with it, like, just paint, like let me paint, I will paint myself, instead of like trying to, you know, do it right. It was like, no, let me just paint myself and just go for it and not have anything in mind. So that's actually how it was able to be finished, because I was like, okay. And I wrote an affirmation on my board, like, my paintings paint themselves. So that's where that comes from. It's like, when I try to do something and manipulate it, it's like, no, that doesn't feel good, stop. So I get stuck, and then it's like, if I let go, it's just like, okay, I'm going to paint myself. Like, here we go, ready? I'm just like, okay, like, you know. So that was, I like that one because of that reason. This one is Princess of Swords, and that's actually a tarot card, and that card represents sort of when things come and your mind begins to get cluttered with a lot of different, or overwhelmed with a lot of information. The image of the Princess of Swords is like a warrior, where she cuts through all of that clouded confusion and is able to come to, you know, come back to center and move through that, like in a way that is more healthy and healing. So she's really a warrior in that she can kind of cut through those times where your mind starts kind of like, you know, inside your head, and you're like, so that's what she is, and that's why she's kind of like sort of a fairy pixie image that's kind of been through battle, and that's what all this stuff is. There's just like the chaos of like the mind and things that maybe try to like infiltrate, that she's just like sitting through it, and like, you know, she's swiftly moving in creative ways to like get through that in a very like still, grounded way. So this one is another like the Venusian with the collage mixed media. If you look closely, you'll see what the image is. So I call it Embrace. And this one had different names. It was kind of hard naming it, but Embrace because, you know, this woman, if you look closely, she's actually like got a blindfold and is tied like to a chair. Okay, you guys are doing okay. Bye.